Fights, Mics, and Media. I'm Goldie Boyd. Born in New York City, August 8th, 1962, and August 9th, 1959, is Mohandas Dewesi and Kurtis Walker, a.k.a. two of the most legendary MCs to ever touch a fucking mic. And that's no other than Kool and Kurtis Blow. Kool started his career with the legendary trio, the pioneer trio of hip-hop, the Treacherous Three. They put out their single on the B-side of Spoonie G's single, which was Love Rap. And that was the first time that anybody has ever heard of the Treacherous Three. They also put out two albums, which didn't really get too much notoriety, but they put out the self-titled album, The Treacherous Three, in 1984, and then Old School Flavor in 1994. And before that, in between and after, they put out a whole bunch of singles, man, as well, a slew of singles, like The New Rap Language in 1980, The Body Rock in 1980, At the Party in 1980, Put the Boogie in Your Body in 1981, Feel the Heartbeat in 1981, Whip It in 1982, Yes We Can in 1982, Action in 1983, Turning You On in 1983, Get Up in 1983, Santa's Rap in 1984, Xmas Rap in 1984, and also Breathe in 1984, Gotta Rock in 1985, We Come Fat in 1994, and then Feel the New Heartbeat in 1994. And that was just about it for the Treacherous Three. But Kool he eventually broke off and formed and did his solo career, and was pretty successful at his solo career, might I add, because his first album was self-titled Kool and he went crazy in 1986, man. Kool was that nigga when he first dropped that album, Kool. It didn't really do that great, but everybody knew who Kool was at the time, so he had one of those names. And you got to remember, Kool was one of those dudes who pioneered that new sound of rap with dudes using rhymes within rhymes. Like, he was one. Everybody gives the recognition to Rakim, but it was actually Kool who was actually doing that first, and then Rakim. But it's the pattern that Rakim did it in his cadence that switched and changed the whole fucking game. And that's why when they say Ra changed the game, that's why they say that. Not exactly because the way he used the rhymes, but because of his cadence and the style of rhyme, he did it. But after Kool put out Kool self-titled in 1986, he came out with his second album in 87, How You Like Me Now. And by then, he was already established because he don't start battling dudes like Busy B, and tore Busy B up in like 81 after one of his shows, and then he started going at LL. Even on How You Like Me Now's album cover, you got his white Jeep parked, in the projects, one of the with LL's signature red Kango under one of the front tires. So you already know, that's how that started. And then after How You Like Me Now, in 1987, in 1989, the following the 2 years later, in 1989, he followed that up with Knowledge is King. And then in 1991, he had Funky Wisdom. And then in 1994, he had Interlude. And that kind of like was the decline, the early 90s was the decline of that first wave of the pioneers, man. They kind of all declined around the same time, man. But them dudes is legends. And I just wanted to give Kool D and the treacherous street they flowers while they could still smell them, because they still alive to listen to this and watch this video, man. Them dudes is legends of the game, and if it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't have a lot of the guys that we have in hip hop, man. So, I want to give a big shout out and happy birthday to the one and only Kool D. This younger generation doesn't know, but this is why you got guys like me putting out dope information like this about the history of this thing we call hip hop and rap, man. So I just want to let y'all know that Kurtis Blow was one of the first successful hip hop acts, man. He started his career back in like 79 when I was born, bro. One of the first songs I've ever heard in my life that I could recall was Kurtis Blow. I was one of them hood kids, man. So my father was a singer. My mom's, was a dancer and a backup singer for my father. At one point in time, my Uncle Steve was a drummer. My Uncle Peter was a world-renowned dancer right now. Still is. He's a choreographer. Still is doing it right now. His name is Peter McCoy. And I was raised in a musical family, so all day long, all I heard was music in my house. That's wherever I was, we heard, all I heard was music playing around me. And one of the first songs that I could ever recall was Kurtis Blow, The Breaks. I remember that shit like it was like I can't forget it, as a matter of fact. Kurtis Blow is one of the, not only one of the pioneers, but he's one of the godfathers of this shit we call hip hop, man. So, take your hats off to people like, when you hear me say names like Kool D and Kurtis Blow, you recognize that when I say them names, I'm talking about the godfathers of this shit, man. People who pioneered this shit, like who made other rappers successful because of their success. You understand? So I just like to give these guys, their flowers while they're still alive. Kurtis Blow is still alive. Kool D is still alive. So it's just an honor for me to be speaking, to putting their name in my breath, man. Because them dudes is legends in this game. And when I was a younger dude, I strive to be like them. And I just want to, make sure they get the proper recognition from this younger generation, because a lot of y'all don't seem to understand or know your history of hip hop. So this is why, guys like me is doing videos like this. But anyway, man, he started out in 79, and he had some of the dopest singles that you could think of, man. Kurtis Blow, when I tell you, like, Kurtis Blow was that nigga, Kurtis Blow was that nigga. You hear me, man? He had his first, as a matter of fact, he was one of the first hip hop artists, if not the first hip hop artist, to be signed by a major label, Mercury Records, and he released Christmas Rapping, and that shit sold well over 400,000. He was like the first hip hop artist to go gold, man. And then he put out another single, The Breaks, like I was telling you, and that shit went almost platinum. It did 840,000 records, man. So he was highly successful, like in his first singles, man, like in his first album. And after that, he put out the album. The album I think was Kurtis Blow in 1980, if I'm not mistaken, man. And that shit did great too. You got to remember, he had the first songs I could ever remember in life is from that album. He had the breaks on that album. He had AJ. Woo! He had AJ on that album. Come on, man. He had Basketball. We're playing basketball. Like, these is the first songs that I could ever fucking remember, man. Like, when you say hip hop, or when you say just in life, period, those are some of the first songs that I could remember as a human being. Like, for real, man. Like, I can never forget these songs, man. So These songs were like monumental to me, man, and to everybody pretty much that grew up in them eras, man. Like I don't know one kid from the ghetto or from outside the ghetto or even the suburbs. I came from Queens, but I moved to the suburbs early in life, man. And when I got to Wyandanch from Queens, they was playing the same shit we was playing back in the hood. So it was no different there either, man. So, this dude was a worldwide phenomenon, man, Kurtis Blow. And after he put out Kurtis Blow in 1980, he followed that up with Deuce in 1981. And then 1982, he followed that up with Tough. And then 1984, he had Ego Trip. And then 1985, he had America. And then 1986, he had Kingdom Blow. And then 1988, he had Back by Popular Demand. So this dude was not only a legend, he was super persistent. And what a lot of people don't know is he worked with so many different other artists, man. It was him who did the Fat Boys' first artist, as a matter of fact. He did a lot of other people's albums too, man. So, I can't, man, I could talk about Kurtis Blow all day, man, because when you say legend, him and Kool D, especially Kurtis Blow, these dudes are legends, man. He did a lot of work with Rush Management back in the days too, which was owned by Russell Simmons. I'm freestyling all of this, man, because this is shit that I love this shit, man. So I could remember a lot of this shit growing up as a kid, hearing all the stories and shit, man. Kurtis Blow is official, man. Like, y'all just don't understand, man. Him and dudes like Kool D. And these dudes are highly intelligent at that, too. Both him and Kurtis Blow and Kool D both graduated from college, man, with communications degrees, man. Like, I think Kurtis Blow went to Nyack College or something like that, NYC, one of them colleges in New York. And then I think Kurtis Blow went to Old Westbury in Long Island, man. Like where I'm from in Long Island. So I'm not from Westbury, but I'm just saying Long Island. But these dudes are intelligent dudes, man. Not only are these guys, like major dudes in hip hop, these are intelligent dudes. These are intellects. These dudes got degrees, man. They know exactly what the fuck they was doing when they was doing it. You understand, man? So I just love these dudes, man. Like, I don't know, man. Whenever I hear those names like Kool D and Kurtis Blow, man, I get the chills, man, because it brings me back to my early years of my childhood, man. Those are the first names I've ever heard in my life in entertainment. You understand what I'm saying, man? So big respect, enough respect to the legends and the pioneers and the godfathers of this shit we call hip hop and rap, man. And a big happy birthday to both of these guys, man. And I hope that they one day hear this or see this video, man. Mwah.